that was a movie that I watched, and I can't easily recommend it. Not because it wasn't good, but because it was really fucking violent. I guess I don't watch a lot of violent movies because I can't think of any off the top of my head that I've seen recently, at least, that were that gory and yeesh. I mean, the movie came out in 2001, so like the only like problem probably was like some of the CG was bad, which they used for some of the effects, but some of the other effects were good. Like there was a lot of torture in the movie and killings and gory shit. And yeah, when they used CG, it was like, but when they didn't, it looked pretty good overall, I'd say. So yeah, don't watch unless you want something that's just really dark and fucked up, and like there's torture and murder and sexual stuff, rape. Like it's yeah. don't watch it lightly, I guess. I've been aware of Ichi the Killer for a while, not the movie specifically, but like, because I had a recommendation chart and I know there's a manga. I don't even know if the manga is fully translated, but I have not read the manga, so this is my first experience. The one confusing thing is if you like, in the recommendation chart for the manga and on the movie poster, it shows Kakihara, he's got the scars on his face and piercings. He's got a really striking design, right? That's not Ichi the Killer. Ichi the Killer is a different character. But like apparently this guy, like his design is so like it sticks out. Like, and I'm not sure if I'd say I guess he the main character, I guess. So like for some reason, so literally I guess that's the thing that confused me for a little while in this movie is, or by a little while I mean like 10-15 minutes, maybe 20, is that just I assumed he was Ichi the Killer because he's on the marketing and he's got a really striking design, but he is not Ichi the Killer. He is Kakihara, a sadomasochist torture guy who also wants to be tortured a bit, I guess. So yeah, I'm not sure what else I could talk about the movie without bringing up spoilers, because like I guess the draw is like, yeah, I want to see something dark and fucked up and really violent, which is also the biggest potential turnoff, and I feel like I've already kind of covered some of that. Like I would not say I loved the movie, but it was fine. I liked it. Like the ending in particular was where it really started, like, all the plot lines were coming together, and that's where like the oh shit was. Where there were a couple times before then I was just kind of like, maybe not losing interest, but not feeling it as much. Like it didn't grip me through the whole thing, but that's not uncommon with me with movies in general. So like I guess the movie was pretty it was able to convey its just fucked up world of crime, where like one striking thing was how like there would just be, there was 2 instances in the movie where there's just dead bodies and like no one's reacting to them really. Like there's literally like a dead body in the street and a bunch of garbage, and there's people walking around and nobody's like reacting. And then there's a scene at the end that's even more striking where there's like yeah, I'll just move on to spoilers so I can keep talking about this, because and I don't really have that much to say about it generally, I guess. Yeah, Gigi hanging there at the end, and the fucking kindergarten students like walking by, and like the adults just kind of shoving him off, keeping him going. Oh yeah, I guess that's another thing about the movie, is that like I'm not sure if it was intended to be funny sometimes. It was only like 1 or 2 times, but there were moments I thought were funny, and one of them was when Gigi he took off his clothes and he's actually this fucking buff dude. Okay. Sure. Like I guess he was basically the antagonist of the movie because he's the one kind of manipulating everything, and like because the movie kind of gets started when he points out Sasaki, and so it was Sasaki who's involved with the Ando's I think it was Ando disappearance, and Kakihara just starts torturing him, and that kind of gets him kicked out of the Yakuza, like because he just accepted Gigi's words at face value and did this really fucking brutal torture. That was another funny moment where it's like it was kind of fucked up because when Kakihara got kicked out of the Yakuza, he like goes downstairs and leaves, and Sasaki's like all bandaged up by the door, he's like constantly like groaning in pain because of the fucking. Look, when I saw the oil boiling and he was cooking, Kakihara was cooking tempura, I was like, I know where this is going, and I don't like it. And it went exactly where I thought it was going. But like, say he leaves, and then Sasuke kind of like he like moves in front of the door, and then Kakihara comes back and like hits him with the door, and Sasuke like falls, and he's like in even more pain. And I thought that was kind of funny. And that was the last time he even showed up in the movie, I think. So it's just like, ow, fuck. Like, I guess that's the thing watching a lot of the torture and stuff is it just kind of, you get that feeling of just like, pain, right? Where, like, I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm squeamish, like I didn't get nauseous through any of it, but I was definitely like, ew. Maybe that's what being squeamish is. I don't know. I never thought about the different, I never thought to define the word. I've just like heard it for my whole life, and I never actually thought about what it really means. But yeah, like if fucking he cuts off his tongue, and the more over the top stuff, like with Ichi just slicing people, like that was usually used effects, like CG effects, so that was more. But then like dropping, boiling, like I've boiled things. I you get intrusive thoughts of like, what if I got that on me? Like, 3rd degree burns, great. Just watch all the flesh melt off, right? Like, I don't want to even imagine it, but then like, and then of course, then he just drips the boiling, like pours it on him, pours a fucking big pan of, no sir, no thank you. But yeah, it all kind of builds up to, like Kakihara and Ichi are gonna fight, and they even, there's like a kind of, I guess, pulls the rug out from under you where it's like, you wanted this fight? Well, so did Kakihara. He was looking forward to it. Maybe this would be the one to kill him. And then it didn't happen. And, because that was like, the dad, whose name I can't remember, Takashi's dad, who was formerly a cop, and then he's just kind of like, fallen. Now he's a Yakuza, and like he's kind of also like the closest person in the movie to being decent, where like he just gave ramen to Ichi after bumping into him and helping him out for like no reason. He just scared off the guys who were beating up because he Ichi fucked up, and then like it's like thinking about it, and that's probably like the one decent thing any human being in the movie did, which is why I think Gigi like. He told Ichi that, he's your long lost brother, to try and maybe spare him, because like and see, here's the thing, I didn't know Gigi was the main antagonist when he first showed up, so as far as this motive goes, I'm not sure. Like maybe there was a line early on in the movie as to why he was sort of pulling all these strings to get all these guys to kill each other. I've only seen the movie the once, and I didn't go back to check because I should have, but like, you just have this world of crime, this constant cycle of violence, and everybody's like fucking over each other and getting killed and killing, and it's all shit and bad, and Gigi's kind of manipulating it, I guess. But when he succeeds and a bunch of people die, he just like hangs himself. Like, I guess once he got what he wanted, there was nothing else, so he just ended it. Where like Ichi, how Kakihara described him was like 100% sadist. I thought that was kind of interesting because like Kakihara, he's both sadist and masochist, so he will torture people, but also he wants to be tortured and he wants to even get killed. Where Ichi, since he's 100% sadist, he does feel a lot of pain, but he hates it. Like that's why he's always crying, because he's hurting, and but I guess in the end, he's the one who lives, so, like, because he's being manipulated by Gigi for using his, like, because he's got this sort of, sense of justice, I guess, like, he's trying to take down the bullies, and that's what kind of breaks him at the end, because, he kills the dad, who, again, was the only decent person, and even the kid starts kicking him, like, he's kind of become what he hated. He became a bully, right, because he's just being manipulated, and, doesn't know what he's doing. Like he just like he killed his parents for unknown reasons, and then he just kept killing and was manipulated into killing and such. But he was always having he was having doubts, but but since he was being manipulated, he couldn't do anything about it. So Oh god, and the scene with quote unquote Tachibana, that was where she just kind of like gives him like a like she fulfills everything he possibly wanted, and then he fucking kills her. And as I was just like, oh no, like like I guess his thing was because the way he was saying it's like they want me to kill, or you want me to kill you because you don't want me to kill you, and which sort of led to a situation with, and since he thought that she couldn't say no because that just he kind of twisted that to being yes, and it was like his ideal because again he doesn't like causing pain. So if they actually want him to do it, then he's not causing them pain, but he's still like getting to kill and cause say again sadist. So like I guess without Gigi, he's just able to sort of like be free again, but maybe like I guess it doesn't go enough into the ending for me to say like, oh yeah, he was able to escape the cycle of violence. But I mean the manga exists, so maybe it goes into a bit more detail at some points. Though there were some other things about the ending I'm not sure about, because like with Kakihara, he like Ichi stabbed him on the head and he had a wound when he fell, but when he was on the ground he didn't have a wound. So, and then there were the scenes of him like in his masochistic torture room, I guess, with all the chains hanging there, and he was just kind of like sitting there in the dark. Because there were other times that like during watching it confused me, but eventually I realized, oh okay, because they were like achronological, like it jumped around the timeline a little bit, but I figured out where it was. But then so with that in mind, were those scenes achronological, or did like, because it looked like he fell to his death, but he didn't have this wound on his head, so did Ichi not actually cut him in the face? Because like if again he wanted to die, so he would have if he lived he would have been unsatisfied because he like deafened himself, and then yeah, I'm not sure. I guess maybe I will read the manga at some point to see if it kind of clears up some of my confusions, because I might have just missed some details while watching it, or maybe the manga just has more detail in general, or maybe I just don't get it, which is also possible. Yeah, I don't know. That was about all I had to say on the movie. Good watch, decent watch. Yep, movie.